Good morning, Mr. Mamdani. Just wondering, do you have any response to those who have been labeling you a communist in recent days? Do you plan on walking back any statements when you meet with Leader Jeffries, like seizing the means of production? Thank you.
So no comment there. New York mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani laughing off questions about being labeled a communist. He's expected to meet with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries today in Brooklyn for what they're describing as a robust conversation. Joining us now is New York City Councilwoman Vicky Palladino. Vicky, always good to get you here.
Thank you.
You've got your ear to the ground when it comes to New York politics. So what are people saying about Mamdani?
Well, let me tell you this. I'd like to have a very lively conversation with this young man who thinks he's going to be mayor.
Have you met him?
No, not yet,
Yeah.
but I'm looking forward to it. I would like very much. He knows who I am, and that's a good thing. But this is going in a very dangerous direction. If the Democrats choose to identify themselves with somebody such as him and AOC, do you realize that the Democratic Party will no longer, it will actually cease to exist as the National Democratic Party that we know? It will become a Democratic Party for these big blue cities. Because what we're watching happening here is he laughs at communism. Well, you know what? That's exactly what he's preaching. He's preaching communism. He laid it all out there for everybody to know exactly who he is and what he stands for. And I'm really sorry, Zohran, but you know what? You're not walking it back.
Yeah. Well, he tried to, at least with the global intifada comments, he tried to backtrack. This was on a local news interview, New York One, yesterday. Let's listen here.
For some New Yorkers, this phrase is one that refers to civil disobedience and protests. I was sitting with a rabbi not too long ago who told me how the same phrase is heard very differently by her. And it's heard as a reference to bus bombings in Haifa. That distance between what some intend and what others hear is a bridge that is too far. And it is why I have not used the phrase, and it is why I discourage its use.
So take what you will from that. Meanwhile, in the future of the Democrat Party and how Republicans are treating this is Kevin McCarthy. He was on Newsroom earlier on Fox. Listen.
This party is moving towards the socialist wing. And there's a couple indications. Look, this is a party in transition, trying to find a leader. The current leaders can't make up their mind. It shows the weakness of Hakeem. He is literally from New York. Instead of engaging in this primary race, he can't make a decision. Now the Democrat nominee has decided, he still can't make a decision.
I should have kept the camera on you, Vicky, while you were listening to all that, because you were nodding right along. Your reaction.
No, I 100% agree. The biggest problem we have here is lack of leadership. You know, Hakeem Jeffries has been born and raised. He lives in Brooklyn. He was once upon a time a supporter of Mayor Adams. Now he's shifting. Do you understand what's happening here? They are all taking this shift, thinking this guy is going to become mayor, and now we got to kowtow and bow to him. No, it's time for leadership to step up and say, we don't want this. Democratic leadership to step up and say, we will not have this. Someone like Hakeem Jeffries has the ability to do that. Every official that he is meeting with, from Chuck Schumer on down the road here, right down to the local level, everybody should be telling him, walk away. You do not represent New York. We do not want New York to have this communist takeover. And you know what? You're a wolf in sheep's clothing, and we're not buying it. But the leadership is bowing to him. Do you understand? And so long as the Democrats do this, they're going to lose their party.
Well, a very similar message was shared by John Catsimatidis, who joined us on this program yesterday, a New York billionaire, business owner, employs a lot of people in the city.
Yep.
He said this.
He's a nice guy. He has a great smile, but he doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. He's a 33-year-old kid that knows nothing about business. He is a created character. You're going to end up like Havana. I mean, I was there in Havana with Fidel Castro. The shelves were empty. He promised the world to the people. He says, get rid of Batista, and things will be great. Well, it was all one big lie.
Mr. Catsimatidis says if he becomes mayor, he'll take his ball and go home. He'll move his businesses out, maybe go to New Jersey. And for himself personally, he'll take his money and probably spend a little more time in Florida.
Well, you know, here's the extreme and very serious part that everybody has to understand here. Yes, we will lose businesses in droves. This is the economic capital of the world. And when you got somebody like John talking like that we know the day after he won the primary, you were already starting to see sell-offs. You got NASDAQ, you got Wall Street. They could work anywhere. They could work in Jersey, they could work in Connecticut. They don't need to be in Lower Manhattan. We lose that, we lose it all. We lose small business, we lose it all. We're going to lose middle-class people because what's going to happen with his so-called government-run grocery stores, well, guess what? I don't feel like standing online on Tuesdays and Thursdays to get a roast beef. There'll be lines. This is serious stuff. And what anybody who deals with communism that's been here, that ran from it, that knows that here is a safe space, they ran from exactly what these people, and let's also go to this, Sandra. These are young people that have been indoctrinated since they've been going to school. This is a production of, this is what they have put out over decades. They have been training and indoctrinating. Now the chickens have come home to roost, and guess what? The Democratic Party cannot control them.
Vicki, you never hold back, and you tell us exactly what you see as you're seeing it. Thank you very much for being here. We'll have you back soon.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.